What's up, everyone? It's Charles here with Rocket Punch Arm to do a review of the KFC E.A.V.I metal Transistor. It's obvious, we all know this is a masterpiece version of Blaster. So here's the box. It's actually pretty big box, pretty thick. As you can see here on the side, it shows the alternate mode in a cartoony style illustration here, right, with the KFC logo that everybody loves down there. And on the back here, it does have a little bio. You can go ahead and pause that if you want to read it. And little diagram, little accessory checklist here. And that's pretty much it. And of course the ever popular KFC seals, which are a pretty nice touch, which I think a lot of other manufacturers should really start doing. And then an outline of the actual figure here. And if you want to see it beforehand, you can just go ahead and open this up and you'll see the robot right there with his accessories. And off to the side here, you got a nice illustration. Now, I did show you on the back here the little, it's not so much a checklist, but it shows you the accessories it has. You'll notice it doesn't have the horns, these little speaker horns here, because I think these are only included with the pre-orders. Speaking of the pre-orders, you're also supposed to get a set of articulated hands for the MP13 Sound Blaster. I did not get it with this. I did contact BBTS. They told me that they ship those separate, so just holding out for those. They won't be part of this review. And that's it. That's enough of the box over here, guys. Let's just open this up and check it out. All right, once we get this sucker open, it does come with a cool little comic style instruction booklet. It's got some nice illustrations, full color, very nice. And if we look back here, you get to the actual instructions, which I have to admit they are pretty horrid. A lot of dark photography. I don't know, it looks like just somebody took it with their cell phone. A little confusing, but it gets the job done. Continues on to the back right here. And this is obviously of a test shot. Speaking of test shots, I wasn't very impressed when I saw the test shot videos because the figure wasn't painted. It just looks like a cheap figure. Obviously there's no paint apps, but it looks absolutely spectacular in person. I'm getting ahead of myself. It also comes with this little spec card, which is plastic, nice and shiny and rigid. And on the back it's got the tech specs. Again, a little dark on the back, but no big deal. Still cool. And you also get a card here for Hi-Fi. You get a nice little plastic card and the instructions to transform him. I haven't looked at these yet, but I'm assuming it's, yeah, actually they're color, which is pretty nice. And these are actually even better than the instructions for Transistor. And if we look in here, you get a couple of heads for the Hi-Fi cassette and a little light pipe. We'll check that out in a little bit. Alright, so moving on to the figure. Again, I was saying it looks absolutely spectacular now that it has actual paint apps. And what they've gone and done is actually, let me take this out, is they went ahead and gave it a nice metallic finish. You'll also notice out of the box it does have the animation head, which is a little more humanoid than the robotic one, which is right here, which we'll check out in just a little bit. This one right here. All right, and it also comes with the cassette. Here is Hi-Fi. Comes in a little baggie. I'm going to go ahead and put him into robot mode in just a second. You get a nice little blue case here, which has a nice, like, frosted finish to it, and you get these two blasters for Blaster right here. This one's folded. It's supposed to be like that. All right, so you get these two weapons, which you can place into the hand. They do have these nubs here. Let's see if there's nubs in the hands themselves. Yes, there is. There's a nub right there. I just like saying nub. And it tabs right in. And you'll see it tabs and holds without me having to wrap the fingers around, which is something that definitely is needed on figures with articulated you know, hands. So what I'm going to do now is get Hi-Fi into robot mode. It's actually rather easy. The instructions tell you to pull the legs out here like so, which I'm going to go ahead and do real quick. All right, and then the arms, get those out, and then all you got to do is just bring the head out right here. Sorry if I went off camera there, guys. And make sure the waist is pulled out. Then spin the feet around this way, and here's the front. You're going to obviously go ahead and spin the head around and just adjust all the little things to make sure the articulation will be proper. Oh, almost forgot this last bit. Make sure you fold these little corners in. This one's a little tough. This one went in fine. This one's a little rough to fold in. Just be careful, don't snap it. And you have yourself a little hi-fi. You'll notice I've also placed a little Autobot logo, which is not included in the set. Now, during transformation, I did notice there's a little bit of flaking. I was going to say the paint looks a little off. It almost looks like it's applied with a brush, really, and it looks kind of dirty. I mean, it's alright, I guess, just it's a little off. Don't expect like Takara sharpness or anything. But yeah, pretty cool figure, lots of articulation. You got the shoulders, you got the head, you have ball jointed shoulder on the inside. So there's two parts of the shoulder, the elbow joint, and then you have the hands here on a little ball joint, which is really cool to have the cassette do that. And the waist doesn't spin, obviously. You get the thigh swivel. You get the knees here, which are sort of like double jointed, and you get the ball jointed feet. So overall, not too bad if you can get over the whole paint issue, and it feels a little sticky. But he's also got these little blaster things. They don't come in a baggie. I just keep them in a baggie because they don't really stay in the plastic tray. And we're going to go ahead and pop them in. They fit rather easily into his hand, just like so. So, alright, not too bad. And notice it's got this head sculpt here, which is fine, but you also, like I said, get these other two here, which we're going to check out. They seem to be a little more detailed, probably closer to the toy. I don't have the original to compare, but I'm assuming this is the cartoon version and this is a toy version, maybe. Maybe somebody can comment below. And it's also got this one with a little scope. All you got to do is pop that off. It's just on a tab. You want to use a scoped one, go ahead and pop it on just like that. You see a really tiny scope there. Or just use this other one here, and that's what that's going to look like for you. We're going to put him to the side for a sec and check out Blaster, or excuse me, Transistor, and check out his articulation. We got the head. I do want to mention, you'll notice it's kind of noisy. The head keeps popping out of the swivel joint, which I'll show you guys later when I go to change the head. It's got a swivel like this, and it will pop off on mine with the slightest touch and just become basically useless, and you have to sort of align it to get it back in. After that, it works fine, but you're going to have to hold it anytime I move it. Then you get the shoulders here, which come out. Then we also got the bicep swivel. We have the elbow here. Let me just move these away so we can show you the articulation there. And you got the articulated hands, which I love, absolutely love, and they're articulated in every little bit of joint on the finger. Even the thumb itself is also articulated, and it does only swivel. There's no ball joint for back and forth movement. You do have a waist here, which is rather nice, and you have ratcheted hips, which go in and out, and it's a very nice feeling ratchet. You have a thigh swivel. You have the knee, which goes back a good amount. And then you have the ankle here. You'll see the type of mechanism here, similar to Soundwave, actually, this foot. So yeah, I did notice mine has this limp thing here. It's not so limp now because I actually did attach a little piece of tape to wedge in there, but when I got it, it was really limp. I did sprinkle a little Viagra, but that only lasted a couple hours, so I guess I'm going to have to use a tape. This one's fine. I think the issue is they drilled out the hole for the pin too big, so when the pin goes through it, it doesn't actually give any friction to this piece. I did want to take a closer look at the head sculpt here, and like I said, this one is the one that's faithful to the cartoon. You also get the little movable ears right here. I prefer this head. Usually I do love the robotic heads more. For some reason, just this works a little bit more for me. But I will be attaching this in just a moment. One of the things that really caught my attention, besides the nice metallic paint, let's see if I can get the light to shine on there, is the fact that there's a lot of detail actually on the figure itself. You'll see all these pistons or whatever they are, the gold, the silver, the red, all the other grays on there, the yellows. This is probably the most detailed KFC figure I have or have come across. My first experience with KFC was one of their Mugen figures, which were alright. It wasn't too bad, but nothing out of the ordinary. But it looks like they've really stepped up the game. I got their Citizen Stack, which I thought was amazing, and it seems like they're just headed in the right direction. So keep it up, guys. The stuff you're making is really cool. It does feel a little light, I do have to say. I think if it had a couple of die-cast feet, it would just feel slightly better, but it's still overall very nice feeling. So what I'm going to do now is put this spare head on. You can see it's quite detailed. It's got nice yellow eyes going on there. Got a nice red paint. Gleams really nice. Mine is missing a little bit of red paint right there on the corner, but I'm sure I can Sharpie that up. To use this, you just got to unscrew this little screw back here. So get a little screw, just take that off. Once you have the screw removed, all you got to do is take the two halves apart and do the same with the regular head. Then you grab the back half and just pop it on this slot here. This is the swivel I'm talking about where it pops off the regular head. And then just reattach the front here. And there is Transistor with the other head. It actually looks quite nice, but I will be leaving the original head on. Now it's pretty much the same process to remove the light piping here. You'll see this is just a piece of blue plastic which does not allow any light in through the back. So you can go ahead and slide that out. Pop the new one in. And then pop this part in first. Just like that. And then the face. Alright, so there we are. Let's check out the light piping. Let me just grab this light right here. And it's actually not that strong with regular light. I'm using an extremely bright light here to get this to light up. But under normal ambient light, you're not going to get much glow in there. But it would be nice to get a little LED set in there just to get it to look like this. Now, aside from the test shots, there's some early releases given out to a couple of reviewers. And I noticed that the buttons down here were silver, which I think, in my opinion, look a little bit better. But the final production sample, as you can see here, is black. And while we're on the subject of buttons here, let me show you this gimmick. It's got an actual working button. Push it down, that opens. And you can actually fit the cassettes in there. Now, you'll see that there's only room for one cassette. However, it's got the same thing Soundwave does. You can push it all the way back, fit some more cassettes in there, and then there's the same kind of button right back here. You actually push down on it. You don't actually push in, just down. You can get that effect. I'll show you the cassettes going in there once we're in his alternate mode. Next thing I wanted to show you is this horn weapon here, which I've already attached to one hand. It's not as easy as just popping it in. Well, it actually is, except you do have to take apart most of the arm to do that. And what I mean by take apart is just unfold panels, not actually literally take it apart. You do have to fold panels away, bring these down, which because of the paint is a little bit of a pain in the butt here. Alright, and that hurt. And pop this open, bring this out. You'll notice it's just a lot of work for this. And while we're at it, the folding of the hands, I found that it's easier to have them this way with the fingers up towards the hole and to bring them in, because it's really unnecessarily hard to spin this in. It's not crazy, but it's enough where if you're putting pressure on any of the fingers, you will break them off. As you're bringing it down, make sure no fingers are sticking out, because you will snap them off because you're giving this a good amount of force. Once you pop that in there, you'll see that little peg is out, and that's where you attach the little horn weapon. So you got them on both hands. Now, I said something about pre-orders. Not necessarily pre-orders, but what they call early adopters. I guess the people who get the first release will get these horns. Otherwise, you're SOL. Now, while I'm here, I would like to show you how to take the hands out, because it is hard to push in. The reason I tell you to face them that way is so the top of the hand is here. And the reason for that is because with your nail, you're going to have to push down on this and then pull up by the top of the hand here. If you had it the other way around, you have to pull up on the fingers, which is not a good idea. And then once you have it out, then you can flip the hand around and pose the fingers the way you want them. So now I'd like to get into transformation. And don't worry, I will do scale comparisons in robot mode once we go back into robot mode. But we're going to go ahead and transform him into his boombox mode, his alternate mode, and check it out. And just tab everything, and I think you guys get the idea. Okay, so it's a good thing I did transform this a second time, because there's a couple things I do want to go over. But first, let's check it out. This is a very cool looking alternate mode. I do like it very much. It's a nice little size. I don't have a Soundwave here transformed, but I would say Soundwave is probably about that size. This is a little bit longer this way. It's about the same thickness as Soundwave. Take a look at the back here. You'll see there's a lot of stuff going on in the back here. This is the mode that does not look good from the back, and neither does it look good from the bottom. So as long as you display it this way, it looks great. Now, if I don't sound too thrilled having it in this mode, it's because during transformation I noticed paint was flaking off everywhere. There's beautiful paint. Again, it's not the paint's fault. It's just the fact that the parts that are painted need to rub up against each other, so there's a lot of flaking of red and silver everywhere. So you'll see right here, there's chipping right here from this folding back and forth. This one's got it pretty good here in the corner. There's some edges that you can't really see that are losing paint. Hopefully a Sharpie will match up really good, but if the silver underneath is flaked off, then you got to paint that silver, otherwise it's just going to look weird. But as for me, who doesn't really transform his toys all too often, this is the very last time I'm going to do it. I would like to put a little masterpiece cassette in here, so we'll go ahead and check out that feature here in alternate mode. Again, button here, this opens up. Right there is only spot for one cassette, so we'll go ahead and try that out. Closes really nice. Pop it back open and push it in one more time, and then we'll put in another cassette. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do this. One of those cassettes is actually a KO wrap at this point. I forgot which one it is. Pop that in and you'll see it fits the two cassettes nicely. Let's try the opening feature. There you go. Now it can fit a third. I want to go ahead and push that even farther. Pop that one in. So let's pop this open and get the third one in there, which is Hi-Fi. And it closes nicely and opens nicely. Now to get this back out to normal, push it down a couple of times. And you'll see now there's a spot for one cassette, and Hi-Fi is going to go back in there for the rest of the review. Now there's another feature, the storage weapon feature, but I said I wasn't going to do it. I kept reminding the crap out of myself to not forget, and of course I'm sure you guys who are Blaster fans noticed that I had this wrong. This is supposed to be rotated. I'm going to hopefully be able to do this without ripping any nice paint off. But it's supposed to be this way, and I apologize for that highly. I made sure, well, I didn't make sure, but at least I did remind myself a million times during the transformation to remember to do that. But this is what it's actually supposed to look like. I knew something looked off. Here it is. That's the way it's supposed to be. Now, we can get back to the storage feature on the alternate mode here. You're supposed to be able to store weapons right back here. It's actually a lot easier to do while you're transforming, but basically you move this part out of the way, bring this out. You'll see this rounded little piece here, and then you can go ahead and pop this in, try and push it in all the way, and then fold this in. Kind of have to figure out where all the pieces are touching and just work it around. And there you go, and you can actually store both. I'm just going to show you how to do that one, but you can go ahead and store it there. Then these little barrel things from the gun can store in these little slots here. You'll see these little round things. You just tab them right in. Now I'd like to get back to robot mode because that's my favorite mode, and I'm actually not too happy about having flaked off a bunch of paint off of this, which is kind of annoying. If that's something that's going to annoy you guys, you may not even want to transform it. Just enjoy pictures that are out there, enjoy the video. Otherwise, just leave it in robot mode. I don't really see the point of ruining a nice paint job just to get it into this, which is, it's okay, but it's not a great alternate mode, because hollow and weird things back there. But if you can afford two, put one in alternate mode, one in robot mode. Otherwise, just keep it in robot mode or suffer the consequences. So yeah, I'm going to get back into robot mode and do some scale comparisons. Alright, so now that we're in robot mode, I'm a little bit happier because number one, I won't be going back into alternate mode, and that's really the only mode where you're going to see the little paint chips, because in robot mode, everything is hidden now in the panels, not the end of the world. So yeah, some scale comparisons. We got them right here, and we're going to pull out some masterpieces. So let's do the biggest obvious choice here, which is Soundwave. And I have them really lined up together. You'll see Blaster is a little bit bigger, which should be correct since the G1 Blaster was bigger than Soundwave. But they look really good together. All right, and the other thing I want to show you guys is other blasters I have. I sold my G1, a brand new one, at a collector con, so I don't have it here to show you guys, but I will show you this Takara blaster. And I also have the Unique Toys version of blaster right here, which is quite small in comparison. And that, I guess, is going to bring us to the end, guys. I hope it was informative enough to make a decision on whether this is something you want to pick up. I personally do recommend it, especially if you're a blaster fan. I'm not very big on blaster, but I definitely love this figure. If the whole paint chipping thing is not a big deal in alternate mode, and again, just be careful. I just did it quick for the review. That's probably why I chipped mine. But other than that, it's just, I love this thing. Forgot his butt flap over here. So yeah, definitely recommend it, guys. If you want to pick up your own, you know where to get it. Just click the link below, BBTS, and you can pick one of these up. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you enjoyed the videos, please subscribe and like. And until next time, bye-bye.